Greetings, everyone. You are currently on things that people don't want to talk about. At the moment, God Level is, handling some business real quick. But you got the rest of the panel here. Starting off is John Skywalker, the Sly Talker, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and father. And, you know, I know y'all see the new merch right here. Let me go ahead and zoom in on that.
Nice.
We're matching accidentally because I had this on first and I was like, yeah. But hey, if you guys are interested in getting one of these hats, message God level, plug in. You can also go to her website, which we will be posting here shortly. But King Newborn, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Peace. This King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Thing. I'm sorry, Newborn Everything. I'm tripping. Just throwing off right now. This GL is really killing me. I can't wait to God level time back in. It's throwing me off a little bit. But anyway, like I said, this is King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms on Newborn Everything. And as always, like I always say, I am.
I say.
Brother Diamond, you want to introduce yourself?
All right. Yes. This is Diamond, Sabah Diamond, teacher and student of our ancient Kemetic spiritual sciences, Osirian by spiritual path. Um, well, been a personal trainer, 30 years in the business, nutritionist, 30 years in the business, but currently life coach, coaching people into spiritual self mastery. And I'm here to help. Also a father, grandfather, got one grandchild. Um, so I'm here, new to this panel, and just having a good time. And I'm loving my new family.
Hey.
Peace. And likewise.
Yeah. All right, so I guess from this point right here, just to let the audience members know, we originally planned to talk about inheritance versus debt, really within the framework of legacy, as we were speaking backstage, and we opted that we're going to push that to a later date. We want to capture some other elements of this topic, but it is relative, and we agreed on that. So today we're just going to focus on a Q&A. We're going to just pass the mic around and really just get to know our panel here, our tribe here. Peace to you, Dre. I see you, King. So if you guys have any questions for any of us, go ahead, drop them in, and we're gonna rock out. We're gonna vibe up. And likewise to our tribe within here. If we got any questions for each other, let's go ahead and put them up there. Get them out there.
So I know, we have some, I have some questions.
Okay, yeah.
I have some questions. This is, we got to stay true to the overall topic, things that people don't want to talk about.
Ooh.
And what I want to know, and this is because a lot of times I'm out of the loop on, and I'll say it like this, some of the mundane stuff that's going on, and been wondering why, because I've been disagreeing with this particular thing when it comes to people saying, or the narrative that's out there saying that black men does not protect black women. I'm just wondering, first of all, where's that coming from, and then and what's validating that, and I disagree with it. So I just want to say, what's up with that? Where's that coming from?
I think I think there are certain collections of women out there, and I will say this also. I've heard the same thing, and I do. I do validate the experiences of those women when I see those comments out there. I just say, all right, you're allowed to. Oh, we got to wait for.
Mm.
Um,
You know how to add him back in?
no, I don't. Sheesh, yeah, we got to wait for God level to do that part right there.
Oh yes, he does do it.
Yeah, she's got to be able to add him. Yeah, I can't add him back in. But so despite me validating their experiences, and I say, okay, you know, whichever woman is speaking on that at the time, I say, all right, that you can't speak for all women and say
Hmm.
we don't feel protected. Okay, maybe you don't feel protected as a black woman by black men. Maybe you don't. Maybe you know a few women in your circle that don't feel protected by black men. But I think that's I really think that's more of a prompt to ask the question as to why you or you and your homegirls, you and the women in your family, why you guys don't feel protected. Because if you conducted a poll, you would more than likely observe that there are some women that feel protected and they have stand up black men in their circles and their ciphers that protect them
Hmm.
and they feel protected in their presence. And then you got some that don't feel that. And so you have these distinct experiences between black women, and naturally they're not going to agree. So
Sure.
is it to say that the ones who don't feel protected have an invalidated experience? I think their experiences might be valid, and I also think that some of it could be skewed. But for those who celebrate black men and say, "Well, I feel protected," if anything is going down, I can call my uncle, or I can call so and so, I can call my homeboy, yada yada yada. So they have enough knowledge, enough wisdom, enough experience to assert that they feel protected, um, and it be valid. And the women who would be met or confronted with that information would probably say, "Well, that's you," which would bring it back to what I was saying in the beginning, that whoever is saying this as a woman, and again, if they're collectively coming together, all right, that's cool. But whoever is making that statement, they need to really speak from personal experience rather
Mhm.
than trying to generalize the statement towards other black women,
Well,
because that's
yeah,
not fair.
well, that's what I'm saying is that there's been a blanket thrown across all black men, just like the false blanket that black men are not in their children's
Mhm.
lives. That's been a blanket, but it creates a false narrative.
Yes.
The majority, and I can tell you, I don't know a black man who won't protect the women in their lives. I personally don't know a black man that is not has not made a valiant effort to be in their children's life. Not all of them were successful, but it wasn't due to a lack of effort, you know. Um, but the blanket that's thrown over there, we have to be careful, because the thing about it is there are agents out there that
Mm,
actually throw narratives out into this field. To understand that we are in a field, this conscious field, and all you got to do is put a subject out there, and everybody's going to jump on it, and it becomes blown up and disproportionately, and it becomes what we feel like the narrative is, and that's not the narrative. So I just think it's
mm,
unfair to say that, because it's like you said, women are literally speaking about their personal
mhm,
circle of men. Maybe they have not been protected by them, or maybe it could be one incident. It could be the way that the woman herself is actually acting, and then maybe pushing those men away. Who knows? So
mm,
it could be any kind of reason. Let's see. J Love said, she said uh she said a lot of them don't, professor. I think I'm professor. I'm not sure.
mm,
And a quick count, and quick to count you out. He said,
mhm.
especially alpha females. Okay, we got to talk about the alpha word alpha as well. Then she said, my father raised me to be strong on my own. Excellent. So what I love about that, J Love, is that I think girls get their first direction from their fathers. that becomes their first love. They become their first love, and I think that's a very delicate situation. The relationship between a girl and her father. It's a very delicate because he can actually determine how she sees not only men, but how she participates in the world, how she goes out and function in the world. Because I've seen fathers who are probably a little bit too close to their daughters, to where it was, sexual
Oh yeah.
nation and stuff like that, and then they go out and end up being a different way than they would have if that had not happened. Some that were abusive, but then some that were very protective and raised very strong, confident women. But I do think, and then there were some who fathers who were not there that also skewed a woman's view of men because the father was not there because of the way he maybe treated their mother, or he was in and out and inconsistent or what have you. So that's the thing. But we talking about see, when we said alpha males and alpha females. A lot of people think that this term automatically means um, dominant. And I want y'all to remember, we are not wolves. We're not animals. So the thing to remember is when you see alpha, the term alpha being applied to a pack of wolves, wolves function a lot different than humans. Forgive my dog. See, my dog is in the background
Ah!
barking because she protecting the house.
Oh.
Um, but but the thing about the alpha is that alpha just means that first of all, an alpha male or alpha female is a leader, somebody who has who doesn't have necessarily problems with self-esteem or what have you, but also care enough about the people around them to inspire them and lead them to better outcomes. That's what being alpha is about. It's not about raising your voice and see who can scream the loudest and who can cuss the most and who has the bigger attitude and who can get more violent. That is not the way of an alpha when it comes to humans. That's not what we we are not animals. Okay, the one who can display the most divinity in their character, that becomes the alpha in when it comes to humanity. So yeah, so when we talk about alpha females, in a term of the ones who are quick to cuss you out, quick to tell you what's on their mind, and they have no filter or
Mhm.
anything like that. Yeah, that becomes a problem. There's nothing alpha about them. They're actually lacking in a lot of areas, so they don't even deserve the title to be called alpha. So that's what we have to make sure that we understand. So go ahead, John, if you wanted to jump in there.
Yeah, I was gonna just touching on that. We actually spoke on we called it the myths of the alphas and the betas. This was more in regards to how the terms have been used excessively because a couple of decades ago this wasn't really a theory that gained much foothold, but now it's becoming popular in our culture. But from what I understood is that the whole concept is more so of a theory, and I believe it pertains to something called the sociosexual hierarchy theory, and it's
Uh-huh.
assumed that structurally humans are organized into distinct categories, right? So even in psychology, they don't really give these person or these archetypes much credence because we're a bit more complicated. It's a bit more complicated. Like I'm a bit more complicated than just being an alpha, a beta, and then that's the other thing. A lot of the times we only talk about just those two, right? The alphas and the betas. We don't talk about the sigmas. We don't talk about the gammas that are out there, the datas, or I'm sorry, the datas, the deltas, and the omegas. There's other ones out there, but ultimately, it's like, all right, how do you know you fit that category? And then there's other considerations like an alpha in what? a delta in what, a beta in what per se. So we assume that if you're an alpha in your home, you're going to be an alpha in every arena. But then there's the question of, all right, well, if we're talking about an alpha male, just in the strictest sense of family and work or family and profession, it's like, all right, the alpha needs a structure. The alpha needs a structure. It needs a hierarchy. Whereas if we're talking about sigmas, sigmas are basically alphas without the structure. They value independence. They value they have like the quote unquote lone wolf mentality.
Mhm.
They're very competent. They're very successful with women. They have strong leadership traits. Um, they're nonconformist. They're energized by solitude. They have this insatiable lust for adventure. Um, and that's it. I mean, basically, they're alphas. They just don't want to be in a structure. They could do what alphas do, but I'm digressing here. I don't want us to focus too much on this, but I definitely resonate with the idea. Like I understand what people mean when they're talking about alpha males and such, but I'll admit I do a little bit of trolling online when it comes to these concepts, and people start saying, "Oh, this is not a real alpha male," and so I start probing and prodding, with questions just to kind of break the illusion. 'Cause I'm like, you reduce a man and a woman to this personality type, to these archetypes, without considering that there's more to the human condition than just this.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, but another thing, before we abandon that particular topic, I want us to realize too, when we're talking about like alpha, beta males and females and so forth, look what language we're speaking. We're speaking a Greco-Roman
Ooh,
language. Okay, that's what we're speaking. So you understand they. So we one thing. What I love about my priestess, Abut Simsut, she actually I always say that we are out of our minds. We are out of our African minds, and we're into
mm,
the mindset of the Greco-Europeans. And we have to be careful of taking on that kind of characteristic, because we are literally talking about a mindset that fostered a culture that was a matriarchal culture versus one that fostered a patriarchal culture. The patriarchal culture was this macho-ness, male dominated type of idea, which is this type of culture that we live in now. And that becomes the problem, because male, the male aspect doesn't lead anything. Okay. It is not,
mm,
it doesn't lead anything, to be honest with you. All right. And when I'm saying about that is everything is coming forth from the female aspect. So this is why, and when we're talking about leadership and everything, remember that in our African history, all of the concept of leadership, protection, and everything was always personified as a female deity,
mm,
always female. So it might have been the male that might have been on the throne or so forth, inspiring. But when it came to protecting, purifying, and keeping things in check, it was the female aspect. It was always the female aspect. And so the Greco-Roman mindset don't like that because it messes with their macho-ness.
mm,
Okay. We didn't have a macho-ness. We understood balance. We understood our place when it comes to masculinity and its relationship to femininity. Okay, we understood that. So we understood too that we didn't ask our women to be submissive,
mm,
because we know
mm,
they were naturally receptive and reflective. So whatever they're going to give out, whatever you give in, whatever you put out there, that's what they're going to put out. So the thing is that could it be? And I said this to a friend of mine the other day on his show. But could it be that what the women really need is cooperation? They need cooperation. Maybe that's what it is. So we have to
mm,
understand that. and I know there is a big lack of black male leadership, and it's not saying that it's the black males. Well, I don't want to say it's not their fault, but the thing about it is that they it's a circumstantial situation because they themselves are trying to figure out who they are, and it's very hard to do in such a environment, in this socioeconomic environment that we're in. It's very hard to do. All right. So I did want to put that out there. And all right, so you got that call in. She gonna call in. You gonna call in here, Jay? It'd be nice to hear from Jay. But anyway, I just wanted to
Yeah.
get the conversation started to see if we can generate some questions. And as you
Mhm.
said, remember that we're talking about across. If you've been here for all of our platforms and all the topics we've covered, I mean, if you have any questions that you didn't get to ask, put them out here. Let us talk about them. All right. Oh, okay. Can't get a call until she gets back on the computer. All right.
Yeah, that's true. Dang, 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 dang. But yeah, the conversations that I've been seeing out there in social media, and that, for the audience members, I know you guys see this too. Be very careful when you're in engaging and interacting with strangers on
Mm-hmm.
social media on some of these topics that are very triggering. There is a gender war going on, and it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I also understand that there is a lot of social engineering going on, and then also we're in the time where because of the internet, there's a reward system for attention, right? So we have to be very mindful of the dialogues that we're participating in. I just saw one today, and bless his heart, he's a good brother. But sometimes the topics, the questions that are formulated, the statements that are made are a bit, um, they're too convenient. They're very triggering. They're very controversial. And they're
Mm-hmm.
stated in a controversial way to get a reaction out of you. And
Yeah.
there's no real dialogue happening. I just saw one today where there was a statement about how black men need to embrace the idea that black women don't need them, or that black women don't benefit from marriage. That's what it was. And I was thinking about that. I was like, that's a very general statement, and I see these happen so often, where there's a black woman saying this and a black man saying that, and it's like they're speaking for all of us instead of just assuming a perspective. Right? Welcome, God level.
I am so sorry. I was away from the computer. Once I got you all started, I had to run off and do a couple of things. I've actually received a phone call from
J Love.
J Love wanting to know where the hell you at? We in class. I'm like, I'm getting ready to
It's
sign on right now.
sort of like a rose trying to blue the cracks of the concrete. Dangerous things to see.
Mm.
Yeah, we here. What's up with it?
How y'all doing? Y'all doing pretty good from what I was
Right.
hearing. She said the class is going really well. She calls it class.
I know.
We're
You
here to
know, I
learn.
like that. We
We're
learning
here to
something.
learn. Yeah.
Okay,
Here to learn.
so I stepped away for a minute. Where we at? Catch me up. And if y'all don't know who I am God level. This is things people don't want to talk about. Um, I am a nurse. I am a mother. I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, I'm a podcaster. I am everything good. I want to thank everyone for jumping in on tonight's live. And I am sorry for my tardiness. This week has truly been absolutely hectic, trying to balance running a business and also working in management,
Mm-hmm.
baby, and then getting enough sleep with all of that. Yeah,
Ooh.
we seen
Teamwork.
that. What did she say? I'm sorry, someone is calling in. I'm sorry, this is God level. Who do we have on the line?
This is J Love.
Hey, J Love.
Hey.
Hey y'all. But the conversation we was talking about the alpha females and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when John was talking, I'm just not realizing maybe I'm not just an alpha. Maybe I'm more like a sigma
A Sigma.
or
A
whatever he was just.
Sigma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a sigma.
That's actually my
I'm
fraternity.
still learning.
Okay. What is the Sigma,
I'm still
John?
learning, but
Go ahead. Go
Yes.
ahead.
but what I wanted to say is, being an alpha or a sigma, whatever, it's not about being loud. It's not about being aggressive. It's about your choices. And I would say, I work out and I'm trying to become a trainer or whatever. Well, I'm gonna just say I am a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's me being in the gym so much is causing me to be more of an alpha or a sigma. I need to look into that more. But I would say that I'm not loud. I'm very humble, very sweet. And my dad, he knew how men would be along the way. So my dad used to always tell me, he'll say, Janet, always have your own. Always have your own money, your own car, your own everything. So you won't have to put up with the crap that men gonna bring. You know what I'm saying? And I never listened to a lot of stuff my dad said, but that particular thing he said, it always stuck to me. And to this day, I will admit I may need to work on my dating a little bit, cause I kind of since me dealing with like toxic men, I'm beginning to see men more disposable, kind of like you don't take them serious. And I will say, and I'm wrong, and I'm working on that, and I'm healing from that. But
Okay.
I can't ever say that the only men that really protect me are my father, which is gone, and my two brothers. And I done had a relationship where a male protect me, but I feel like the full protection of a man is you protecting that woman and whole in everything she does, her dreams, her goals, her mind frame, and all this is like a full support, full compassion, full love. You know what I'm saying? No ill will and all good things. And I haven't really just found that in a man. So with that, I pretty much have myself, because in my journey along the way with men, I don't know why, but I get men that they tend to get a little jealous of me or whatever. Cause I will say I'm bold, I'm not loud, and I will be submissive if he's worth it. But at the same time, I'm just a strong heart, strong soul. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that, and it seems like it turns from where I'm not being protected to I'm the one protecting. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
The roles have switched.
Yeah.
The roles
So
have
it's
definitely
like,
switched.
so that's why I done turned into this strong state of mind where, okay, I'm the alpha because I'm the one taking care of my kids on my own. I'm the one taking care of my house on my own. I'm very fit. I'm very driven, very passionate about each and everything I do. And I love and I feel for others. So that what made me feel like I'm an alpha female. But like when John was talking about the stigma, like I really don't do good with control. I don't like. I'm not good with control. Like, so I don't know if it's submitting is control or however. But I'm just a learning process, and right now I ain't even focused on no man.
Right.
But however, it was good calling in. I say to Dr. D. Diamond, I love you guys and salute.
Salute. Good to hear your voice. Good to hear your voice, J Love. Good to hear your
Okay.
voice.
Oh wow.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
just listening to what she just said, everything she was just talking about, this that's the struggle. You see how she doesn't really know, how to categorize herself, and whether it's even okay to be who she is, and how to be even more of who she is. When is she overstepping her boundaries, and when is it that she's not being enough? So we don't understand this. And then she also she mentions basically the men, the men who she feel like she's having to protect instead of them protecting her. So this is what we have to do. So everything on in this planet except ourselves, we have put into categories. We have put them into a periodic table of contents, right? Why have we not done that for our own conscious levels? Okay, so this is the way that we'll understand that not all men are the same. Once you
Ooh.
understand, when you are seeing a certain level of consciousness in a man, you'll know whether to go with it or to stay away from it. But you got to learn how to identify it. But this is also why you should not be led by your emotions. Okay,
Mm.
that is, you have to keep the mind clear. You have to keep your mind clear, keep that spirit at peace, and be clear. All right, so it's not just about how he makes you feel, but it's about the attributes, whether he's a liability or an asset. You got to learn how to identify the difference. Okay, I can tell you at this point, this level of man that I am, I know the difference between a woman that's a liability versus an asset.
Woo, baby.
I know it.
I'm
All
sorry.
right.
Likewise, and men are the same way, liability
I
or
say.
asset. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are. Oh my God. Hit
Mm-hmm.
that on the nose. Go ahead, King Newborn.
I want to say, J Love, appreciate you.
I say.
Uh, Brother Dre, appreciate you as well. Anybody else that's listening to this, I just want to say, for anything that you claim that you are, or anything of a characteristic, title, uh, self entitlement, please know and understand whatever it is that you're claiming to be, claiming to represent, claiming to hold, claiming to maintain. That
Mm-hmm.
title only becomes true, or the name per se that you categorize yourself up under only becomes true when you are challenged.
Ooh.
Mm.
Mm.
Um,
That's right. That's right.
it's not what you profess yourself to be. It's the challenges and the lessons that come along with the title. That's when you truly
That's
are.
right.
I hate to say it, you either exposed to be exactly who you say you are, or you're exposed to be what you are not, what you're trying to
Mm.
claim to
Exactly.
be.
That's right.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
And it's a scary feeling. It's a very, very, very scary feeling. Reason why, and I hate using the word scary, and but it's important because it's the unknown factor of your truth.
mm.
Mm.
Not trying to talk in riddles or talk around nobody or above anybody's head. I'm just saying that when you say that, I'm a good woman or a good man, yeah, to what extent though? To the extent
I
of
say.
what you feel that you doing good in a particular area, to the extent that you feel like, hey,
Mm.
this is
Mm.
this is me reaching
Yeah.
out my hand to say I'm going to do these things and I'm going to be profound in them. You still got a list of 10 other things you need to manage. You got a list of 10 other things that you need to see about and add some attention to. And that's very, very important. We play the word alpha male, alpha female, but don't understand there ain't no real alpha female until you're sought out or even tried by another alpha male or alpha female.
Ooh. Mm.
And if I'm lying about this, well, we have a master, the board panel, that would tell you that in any type of class that you take, in karate, taekwondo, jujitsu, anything, you
Mm.
have to face another master to even be considered a master.
That's right. That's
I
right.
just want to put that out. Sorry, I just want to point that out.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying, it sounds like something I was taught a while ago. In order to be certified, you must be verified by somebody qualified. Is that what it
Mm.
is? Is that what you're
Facts,
saying? Okay.
facts. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's
Most
right.
definitely.
I
Most
say. I
definitely.
say. So that's why I say, you got to learn how to qualify folks.
Mm-hmm.
You got to learn how to qualify 'em. When people say that, as King Newborn was saying, when they say I'm this or I'm that, well, then
Yeah.
don't just take them at their word. Make them prove
Yes.
it.
Right.
Make them prove it. Show
Right.
me
Bars,
some receipts.
bars,
Show me some receipts.
bars.
That's why y'all hear when I tell my students, I'll never tell you something that I can't prove. I'll never tell you something I can't prove. And I pride myself in being able to do that. There's a lot of things that I know that I cannot prove, but I know it, so I just don't say it. Okay, not until I can prove it, because those are just things that people eventually evolve to see. Okay, so when you get on a certain level, you'll see it yourself, and you'll realize that it couldn't be proven until you experience it. It's just something that's proof of your experience. But the thing about it is, you
Facts.
have to learn how to qualify folks. Got to learn how to qualify them. So
Uh,
wise
uh,
words,
uh, uh,
King.
oh well, hey, I mean, look at the panel. I ain't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all pour into me, so I ain't got a choice but to pour it right back.
Ooh,
Uh,
and
I
all of
say,
y'all
I,
pour
yeah,
into me. Oh my God. Thank you.
yeah, it's facts. It's
I
big. It's big
say.
facts. Big facts. But brother Diamond just did something that I think we tend to overstep. Um, he just said you basically got to make sure not only you show and prove, whoever it is you dealing with have to show and prove. So when you come into these relationships and you call yourself to be of good judgment of character,
Hmm.
but you find out later this person is toxic, you have to ask yourself, well, what scale was you judging? What was you actually
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to? Was you paying attention to the wants, or was you paying attention to the needs of where you lack at? And you want that to be poured into you so you can become a better person.
That's right.
And it's I don't know. Like, okay, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, brother Diamond had a show the other day, match yesterday. And I have no problem being transparent about me and my walk. As a matter of fact, based off what I'm going to say right now, is dealing with today's mathematics. Today is the 24th, which is wisdom, culture, all being born to equality. And if you just deal with those three words and understand what wisdom is, but know before you become wise, you have to apply the knowledge or to actually know
Mm-hmm.
something. Uh, and dealing with culture is basically your ritualistic practice. And some people in religion will be like, your daily prayer or your daily walk or your daily bread. Um, but bring that to equality. Equality is being able to know the bad part of you and the good part of you. But also understand that the lessons that haven't been learned along the way. And that's key right there. That is very key
I
right there.
say.
You can never be balanced until you take the time out to look at the needs of self first foremost before you go to point the finger outwardly.
To someone else.
You can't do that. Which brings me to the facts of putting King Newborn under the microscope. There was a time that I didn't have a great relationship with my daughter. There was also a time that I didn't have a great relationship with my grandmother, who was my mother's mother. And if I'm supposed to be a leader or even considered an alpha or a king, if I can't even communicate with women, which is the opposite sex, how can I be called anything? Um, I held that very dear in my heart. That's why I'm speaking up on it for any brothers that are out there that want to be the king of their castle, want to be looked at as a man, to be respected, to actually be a man amongst other great men, but be put in the category beyond approach because they are highly respected. Um, you have to amend those bridges, or at least take the time out for the areas that you stumbled in to be willing to go back and learn what you missed. My communication levels um, was poor in those particular areas. So I took it upon myself in order for me to move forward, to keep continuing to look at myself as a king. I got to hold myself on a heavy, 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 heavy king scrutiny,
Mm-hmm.
which means that, hey, I had to face myself. I had to face my problems that needed to be addressed. And I'm proud to say that once you do those particular things, any obstacle can be lifted. Any thing that is obscuring your view can be adjusted. You just have to be willing to do the work, and that's not easy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I am grateful that I took the time to face these particular areas that I needed to grow and develop in, and it's making me become more and more a better man than I see myself to be. Also, it actually helps me during the times of getting better understanding of my sister God level and being able to pour into her to where I can see my reflection. And that's beautiful. Let me be the first to say, sis, I never did point this out because it lay heavy on my heart. You are definitely correct. David Dion Wright is the correct name. Uh, Never was trying to go against that. It was just the love that I received from a portion of me that I never got as a child. So I stood on the Guthrie name heavily. And I will still continue to stand on the Guthrie name. But I would never, ever, ever, ever. I would
John, I'm
never,
so
ever.
jealous, man.
What they got going?
I never will go against or dishonor our Father. Just so you know, that wasn't the reason why I wasn't acknowledging. I wasn't running away from it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know me, I'm good at doing research and verifying whatever.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, it's verified. But if you look at the story through and through, we are him, hands down.
Oh yeah.
We are him,
Yes,
hands down, and because of what he endured in his lifetime,
in his short, it was
yeah,
very
a
short.
short lifetime, yeah. But that man was a bad. He was man. Anyway, that's not the reason why I'm saying all that. I'm just bringing it full circle. Again, just like any other time we have these discussions on certain topics, still come back to knowledge of self. Know thyself first and foremost before you decide to jump off into anything, because the more
Ashe.
responsibility you take, the more you'll
Yes.
wear yourself thin, thin,
You
thin.
know, I've had a
Ashe.
hell of a
Ashe.
week.
Oh well, no. That's not a shot at God level. That's a shot at King Newborn. Because I definitely understand that.
I
Big
didn't
time,
take that
definitely
as a
understand that.
shot. I didn't take. I didn't take that as a shot.
Beautiful. Love you even more then.
Yeah, I'm learning. I used to take a lot of things you say personal.
Mm.
I'm That's why we always bump heads. But I've always listened and kept certain things in the back of my mind of things that you have said that I will always revert back to when a situation arises. And we would have a particular conversation, and you would say something, and it would help me in that particular situation. So I be listening.
Mhm.
I was just hard headed and stubborn, and didn't want to feel like I was being controlled. Just
Mhm.
going against that male figure. Just when someone of of your caliber,
Mm.
you know, I I I bump heads with men who are very smart and intelligent. I try them. I was trying you, but I've heard and listened to everything that you have said. It's still there. It's still there. I love you.
Love you too, sis.
Oh, I love both of y'all. Y'all just man.
Man, we used to bump. I refuse to believe that I'm a fast driver. And I was on my way to the shop, and he seen me coming around that corner. When I walked in that shop, he said, "Where the hell you going?" You zoom. I said, "No, I wasn't." He was like, "Yes, the hell you was." And we went back and forth about that. He said, "Yes,
Yeah, we did.
uh,
okay, that's my brother."
Ashe. I say I want to a couple of comments I want to point out, and for some reason the comments that's coming up on my page are not uh, coming over here.
Yeah.
So if y'all can tell me how to
Yeah.
make that happen. Um, but first J
I
Love
got you.
said, okay. First J Love said, "Meet me in the gym, newborn.
Ooh.
Let's see you can stand in the paint, bro." With all due
Mm.
respect. So this is
I
her
welcome
calling you
all
to a
challenges.
challenge.
Yeah, I welcome all challenges.
You be having a
Ooh.
lot of
And
fans on
Actually,
here.
actually, excuse me. What's he say?
Huh? Nothing. I'm sipping. Mm, mm.
and then Love Sean says self-evaluation is key to growth.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Facts,
S-
facts, facts.
Always, always. If you don't self-assess
Hmm.
it periodically, in fact, I
Yeah,
do so daily,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then of course you'll never know where you need to go next. You know what adjustments you need to make. There can be it's like pruning yourself, just like you would do
yeah,
with plants. You take off
yeah.
the stuff that ain't growing right, so the other stuff
Facts.
can grow right. You know, so absolutely, Love Shine. So yeah. So anyway, I want to point those out. So
That
Yeah, peace to both of
self-evaluation
those
comment,
queens.
that self-evaluation, that ties into so many other aspects of our experiences, right? Especially as it relates to growth, right? But when we're talking about self-evaluation, the core ingredient here is observation, right? That's the core sensation. That is the core ingredient here. Is through your evaluation, and the evaluation is merely you organizing the material you see to give it meaning. But when you're just observing yourself, right, as it relates to your environment, as it relates to your experiences, that's where accountability comes from. It's the self evaluation aspect, right? And in order to clearly observe your circumstances and observe yourself, you have to be honest. Honesty is basically like Windex, right? How can you evaluate yourself accurately
Mm.
and you're lacking integrity, you're lacking honesty, right? You're lying to yourself. You want to be this, right? And so you manipulate your perception of yourself in such a way to where you posture, right? You posture this fiction that you've created, and you're constantly trying to quote unquote measure up to it. You're fabricating. Hence, that's why it was also important when Saba Diamond was talking about, and also King Newborn was talking about the showing up, the evidence, right? If you're gonna make this proclamation of who you are, if you're gonna make this affirmation of who you are, well, it can't just be words, right?
mhm.
Notably, right? Because we're verifying, we're validating, right? We're manifesting, we're creating. It's not just dreaming here. We're not just masturbating with ideas and concepts here. Like you have a self concept. We all have a self concept, right? But it shouldn't be just masturbation where it's like, oh, look what I got. I got this self concept. It's like, okay, what else?
Yeah.
Right?
What
And that
follows?
becomes that becomes a key ingredient. You have the self concept here in the mind, and so now there's the pushing it out. This is outward, right? So we're pushing it out, and you should be seeing your reflection in your reality every day. And hence the self-evaluation piece becomes very central, because are you aligned internally when you look at your environment, when you look at your effects, right? The things that you've created, influence, is it returning that same energy back to you? And if it is it the energy that you truly desire?
Mm-hmm.
If you're,
Mm-hmm.
for example, part of my self concept is I'm compassionate. So in my daily life, that principle, I'm looking for it within myself, and I'm looking for it within my reality, because my reality is going to tell me, all right, John Skywalker Nicholson, you are who you say you are. That
Mm-hmm.
confirmation is so securing. It's such a good feeling, right? And that's what I think of when it comes to love, in terms of that feeling. It's that, that sense of security, that sense of harmony, that sense of knowing that comfort, right? And it's strong. So just bringing it back around, that self-evaluation being a key to your growth, indeed. And a lot of us are afraid to move. And
Mm-hmm.
naturally so, because of our life experiences, and even our mental conditioning. The fear can keep you and withhold you from actualizing your true potential. But
Mm-hmm.
part of self-evaluation is not just what you're conceiving in your mind, but are you writing any of this down? Are you documenting any of this? Because
Mm-hmm.
I look at it in the same way I look at fitness. A lot of people, not to go too far on a tangent, but a lot of people ask me when I'm in the gym. I always have my camera up. That's why I have my videos, right? um, the videos have several purposes. It's not just I'm putting it out there saying, look at me. I'm also saying, hey guys, here's something that you can do in your pursuit. Just in case, right? But also when people ask me
Mm-hmm.
like, why do you do that? And I say it's also to allow me to look at my form. And I apply that concept not just in fitness, in everything. Everything. I want to
Mm-hmm.
know if I'm lining up outwardly, if I'm lining up inwardly. It needs to connect. If this does not reflect the image that I have within myself, if it doesn't reflect that image, I got to do something differently. I got to change. I got to do something because it's within my realm of responsibility. It's within my realm of control, my locus of control. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to place my influence where it's not received, because
Right.
I even though we have a certain amount of energy, right, and we're plugged into the source, but I want to be wise. I want to be particular, specific. I want to be strategic in where my energy goes, with the faith that it's going to come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
guys, that self-evaluation piece, in
Big deal.
that, ensure that you can be honest with yourself. You may not be honest with everybody else, but you at least need to practice, and it is a practice, y'all. Practice being
Mm-hmm.
honest with yourself.
Right.
Journalizing will help you with that. If
So
nothing
let
else,
me
will
let me
journalizing.
let me ask
Go
you
ahead,
this
Saba.
question in regards to that, because one thing that I see people say, and I just want to know, what does it mean? And I'm saying this because somebody just said it, and I don't want her to feel like I'm picking on her or nothing like that. I'm just saying that I saw this, and every time I hear people say this, it sends me into a deep ponderment. I'm just pondering or wondering what's behind that when they say that I don't care what other people think.
Oh.
So when we so but I think, because I don't think that's true. I don't think it's
Mm.
necessarily true. I think that's something else they're really saying, but they're using the wrong words. So
Okay.
so anyway, let's explore that. But go ahead, God level, because he had her finger up even before
Yeah,
Samantha.
I did, because I wanted to piggyback on what John was saying. Some people are just afraid of what they don't know when it comes to change. What does that mean?
Hmm.
I've been this way for so long, and you're asking me to do something totally different. They don't know how that looks, and they may
Mhm.
or may not have been exposed to it. Another thing,
Hmm.
I'm afraid of them not having what it takes to change. Some people think the older you get, you hear it all the time that you're set in your ways.
Hmm.
That was a battle of mine a couple of months ago. You know, I'm up in age gracefully, but do I have what it takes to change, to be something different than what I was, I ain't gonna say programmed to be, but brought up to be. And then some people just accept it and say, this is it, this is me, this is who I am, and I'm not changing for nobody.
I have a question to what
Yeah.
you're just saying.
Go ahead.
What The first question is, to the person, and I know this is all hypothetical, or
Hmm.
most of it is, but the question I would ponder first is, what do they believe about themselves when they say that?
Mm. Mm.
Which which
So
part?
the part about becoming something more than you've ever been, and you haven't had it right. So And I'm saying this because you've been developing your whole life doing this
You
already.
okay? Hold on.
So that my question is,
Um,
what do they believe? What are we talking about in terms of
what
beliefs
have
when
they
we
been
say that?
exposed to? What have they been exposed to? Their environment. If you grew up
Mm.
in the hood and all you know is the hood, then that's just what it is for you. King Newborn.
Finish. Keep building.
Oh, okay. When
Yeah,
you grew
I'm
up in the
not
hood,
trying
and
to
that's
interject just
oh,
yet, but
okay.
yeah, but I'm gonna jump in.
When
But
you
yeah, go ahead, keep building.
yeah, when you grow up in the hood and that's all you know, then that's you come to accept that that is just you. I've heard a woman say, "I'm a hood rat, and that's all I'm ever gonna be." And I looked at her and I thought to myself, "Damn,
That's
you gonna
heartbreaking
stay at
on so many
that
levels.
level?"
On so many levels, that's heartbreaking.
A lack of
And then
imagination, right?
a lack of imagination, and they have not been exposed to anything else.
Lack of self knowledge. That's the crime. They don't know who they are. My
They
goodness.
don't. And then when you don't know who you are and you're raising children, you're just passing down that generational curse
Mm.
until
Hmm.
someone is bold enough to challenge it, to change it, to stand up to it.
Hmm.
King Newborn.
Sense of self.
So this is so beautiful. So
Uh-oh.
Yes. Class is in session. Go ahead, baby.
I'm hearing the comment is that with change comes responsibility
Mm.
and the unknown. Like John said, and well, I'm sorry, like Master said, God said, and Brother Diamond said, the unknown will force you to change what has already. So that means that this means that when you do change, I learn something new, which will
Mm-hmm.
offset. I'm saying it again, it will
Yeah.
offset your ritualistic practice of
Ooh.
your culture, your normal way of being,
Mm-hmm.
and like God loves it. I don't know what that is because I'm used to being in the way I've been doing things, the
Right.
way I wake
Hmm.
up in the morning, the breakdown, how I go, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to use the bathroom, then I'm going to the kitchen, then I'm going to the living room, then I'm come back to the
Mm-hmm.
bedroom, then I'm go brush my teeth. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I do anything to challenge that, I done offset everything. Now my whole day thrown off because now I'm thinking about that I just broken because I'm trying to implement change, and that could be that's a different type of responsibility. You're self-aware, and now that you're aware, can
Mm-hmm.
you act like you don't know no more? No, you
Mm.
can't. That's gonna haunt you for the rest of the day.
Mm.
You're gonna be at lunch and you'll be like, I can't believe I went to go brush my teeth first and foremost when I got out the bed. And I'm just using this as an
Mm.
example.
Mm.
But something
Okay.
that's small like that, something small like that can throw your whole day off. And you're just gonna keep thinking
Hmm.
about it. Like nothing else will be in sync no more at the rest of that day. Go ahead.
Do
Let's
you
hear
think
it.
that? Go
I
ahead.
have to agree with you because I did that last week. Instead of me having a cup of coffee, I had water. And it threw me off. And because usually the coffee is what gets me going. I actually drank a cup of water and I was like, hmm. It kind of threw me off a little bit because I was missing that caffeine.
Hmm.
Now, I have a
Something that
question.
little. Go
I have a
ahead.
question for both of you in lieu of just that whole stream of thought, right?
Okay.
So, was this an unconscious choice, or
This
was
was a
this a
conscious
conscious?
choice. This was a
Right.
conscious
So,
choice.
but I'm just saying, like you're the. So we're talking about the decision to
Hmm.
reflect on that in
Hmm.
that particular view in that way,
Okay.
right? Was that your only choice in thinking? All right, I decided this morning to um, eat a carrot instead of drinking my coffee.
You're choosing. You're.
So
What
do
do
I
you?
choose to continuously think about the fact that I just did that? Is that a conscious decision for me to be like, oh my gosh, I really went for the carrot this morning? 3 hours later, oh my god, man, I really went for.
Yeah, I'm gonna say how many times you got to make
Yeah,
that
yeah,
decision, right?
Facts.
yeah.
Facts.
How many
Facts.
times am I gonna make? Right. So, is that a conscious decision? Because we're talking about being conscious of the fact that you made a
Yeah.
change, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about being conscious of the fact that you made a change.
Right.
Now, do we do that with everything we're doing? Because look, when you try new food, you might not do that. You might not become enamored or ruminate, I guess, about the fact that you ate something completely different,
Mm-hmm.
right? It may
Right.
just be. So that's why I'm wondering. I'm like, all right. Is this a decision? Is this an unconscious decision or is this a conscious decision? Is
A
this like
conscious
a
decision.
character? Is this a character? I'm sorry. Does this stem from a particular character trait? Because I love my routine.
Mm-hmm.
I love my routine, but and it could be the cancer in me, it could be the water in me. I don't know, but I also like some dynamism. There's a machinery. I love my machinery. I designed that machinery, but then there's also some flexibility for um, a little bit of zest. A little bit of change is good. I'm not saying a lot of it, as in, but it's like how much change do I perceive in my daily life? For some people, all they know is change, and so it's constant, right? They may, perhaps that's just how their cognition is, or that's their personality, and that's what they gravitate towards. Someone that's constantly got to see something change. They don't like routine. They don't like the machinery, the mechanical, or they don't like the order, right? So I know those individuals are out there, right? So are we talking about a particular type of people?
I want to say because let's just go with the last statement you just made, just saying that a person that likes change, right? That likes change, so therefore that's a normal routine, normal habit that it's
Yeah, the
change.
change. That's
Now,
Change.
it.
now, it's a normal habit, a normal routine. Here's the flip: if that stops, that is change.
Levels, all right, levels, all right, fair
You
Wait a
know
enough.
what I'm
minute.
saying? So
That's
that's still another responsibility. Like the principle is still going to be there. Like Brother Diamond said when he was speaking in his master class, laws you can't do away with them. That's why they're called
right.
laws. You
Yep.
can adjust principles, you can adjust habits, you can adjust amendments, but laws they will always be there. You
Hmm.
know, so I mean, you
Absolutely.
know, change. I mean, just like you just said, they didn't develop a habit or a routine that this is the way it is. I need a new every day. I need a new challenge. Need this. But then the moment I
Mm,
don't get that new challenge,
It's still a change, right? Well,
what
that's
change.
why
what just
that
happened?
old axioms,
The
that old
change.
axiom that says that the only thing that's constant is change itself.
The
Remember,
Facts.
Kabbalion.
that's it. The only thing that's
Yeah,
constant is change itself. Exactly.
That's
The
the only thing
capacity.
that's permanent in this
That's the
world
only thing
is
that's permanent. It's
change. The
change. That's
only
right.
thing. And now I did
facts.
get that out of the Kabbalion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I say. So
That's peace.
yes,
That's peace. Yeah, no, but
I
I mean,
say.
I'm still with you, Master John. Like for real, I'm with you 100%, and that is true now because when you break it down from that level, like, what does that change really mean to you? Is it something that is
Mm.
outer? Is it inner? Is it cognitive? Is it a force? But the common denominator is still change.
That's
So
right.
you can't run from it, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then once again, Master John, you know this. Once you induct a new routine, is a part of your daily ritual now.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I love you too, brother.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Mm. Okay, let me read some comments real quick.
Oh,
J
because I'm
Love,
not seeing anything.
Mm.
J Love. Let's see. I'm gonna start from here. She said, "I grew up in the country, and doesn't matter where you're from. Yeah, it's who you are." And she also says, so much greatness in the hood. I don't look down on my hood. It's about your dreams and ambitions, goals, and so forth. And then Love Shun says, you can live in the hood and not be in the hood. And I guess this is from an earlier conversation. And then J Love says, make the change and shut up about it. Love it.
Dang.
Wait, to go back
Yeah,
to
so
what
it does.
Sunshine said, you can live in a hood and not be a part of the hood. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
poetic justice. That's what's up.
Mm.
No, absolutely. And that's the same as saying you could be in the world but not of it. You know,
Facts.
and that's exactly what it is. We're projecting into this world no matter what. We're not of the world. We're projecting into it. And to be in the hood, I consider myself to be in kind of a hood in Long Beach.
Mm.
And but when you walk into my apartment, it's peace. You know, it's nothing but peace. Singing bowls and the Guru Gita playing and so
Mm.
forth.
Okay,
You
right.
know,
All right.
symbols. You know what I'm
I
saying?
will be
So
asleep in 15 minutes.
listen, it literally nurtures and fosters a peaceful spirit, and so
Mm.
and that's quite different from the outside. You know, quite different from the outside. So she's absolutely right about that. You know, you can create your own environment regardless of where you are. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can. You
Hmm.
can. I
That's
So
had
pretty
a
powerful.
That's, I mean, that sounds like meditation to me, but I ain't gonna get off into that.
it's always meditation. I'm meditating right now.
you know what? I can't tell you. I posted that clip on my
Which
Facebook of
one?
you. When my brother did that. I was like, what? And then John gonna come in. All righty then. I was just like,
That was so funny. Oh, that was so funny.
I posted that clip. I was like, look at
Oh
my brothers.
man,
Look at my brothers.
man, that
Yeah,
was so funny.
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
I
My
had I
goodness.
guess an, a light bulb moment when we were talking about your daily habits. Success is found in your daily habits.
Mm.
How you
Hmm.
start the day and go about the day, organize your day is going to determine.
Set the intention. You got to set the intention. Yes. And
Hmm.
all of your behaviors,
Yeah,
you got to, and again, you're observing your process, right? Your daily process. So yeah, uh, I set the
Mhm.
intention for the day. My behavior should be aligning with that
yeah.
intention. Hence,
That's
no
right.
distractions. No distractions.
Hmm.
No distractions.
Hmm.
No
Okay.
distractions.
Watch out there
That's
now.
it.
Whew.
Watch out
That's
now.
it.
Now
I
you
need
know
an
triggers
assistant.
can be a distraction.
Oh, not can be. They are.
They are. What you mean? They
I,
can be.
hey,
They
hey,
are.
I'm,
Especially if you
They
nurture
are.
hey, I'm just a faithful student. That's all. I don't want no smoke.
We all are faithful students. Everyone here
Facts,
on this panel is
facts.
still learning.
That's right.
I didn't never stop. I mean, he just said it changed. It's constant.
Hmm.
See how everything keep folding back on itself.
Oh,
And
listen. It
you
doesn't
will
stop.
always say that, and then it brings you right back to self. It will
That's
Yeah,
right.
bring you
Oh
right
self.
back
yeah,
to self. Yeah,
yeah.
that's. But
All day
he's been.
long.
I, I ain't gonna say preaching that to me, but
No,
he
you can
has been.
say it because you felt at one point. That's how you felt at one point. And because of that, you wanted to challenge everything that I said. That's just real.
Okay, so at one point I felt like that's all he was preaching to me.
Even though it's a fact of life,
It was
you could
even
just
though it was a
verify
fact.
it.
And wait
You
a
could just
minute, and
verify it. You could just verify it.
and and it took a minute, and because I didn't want him to be, I always want to be right, but when it finally clicked, I was like, oh, okay, all
But
right,
I always told you, I'm sorry, I hate to
always.
say I told you, I used to always express.
Yes.
I'd be like, sis, I'm not trying to be right. That's not my goal. I don't want to be right. And if you need to, you could challenge the information, not the vessel, the information.
Right.
And
Mm.
if you find something different, hey,
Let
I
me
know.
know. Yeah. He was like,
Yeah,
let me
that's
know.
it. Yeah, that's it.
Right. Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That goes back to that previous thing. Do we really care what people think? Because if we don't look at this as a form of self examination, self
Mhm.
reassessment, to see how are people responding to
You
us and what it is that
feedback.
they're thinking about.
Some feedback.
But exactly,
Me
feedback. But
too.
we also must understand, we have to know what's theirs versus what's ours. And so we have to know. So it does get tricky. So this is why I always know that when people say I don't care what people think, they're really saying something else, using the
Yeah.
wrong words.
Oh,
I'm not attached to what they think. I'm not
yeah.
attached to their judgment of me. I'm going
Yeah.
to keep
Okay.
moving
I like
forward anyway.
that.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So I get it.
Mm.
I get it. And because something I had to get out of the habit of saying was I don't care, because that's a lie. I care. I care.
Mm.
I may not be
Okay.
concerned with certain things, but I still care about it. It
Okay.
all depends on the moment. This moment, I'm not concerned with something else, but it doesn't mean I don't
Mm.
care about it. You see, because at some point, it just might come around and catch me at the right moment. Okay, catch me at the right moment. Then I'm
Bars.
going to show that I'm engaging with it at the right moment. But right now, it just doesn't concern me at this
Mm.
point.
Mhm.
The issue of homelessness doesn't concern me because I'm not homeless. You see what I'm saying? Not the same way
Uh-huh.
somebody that is homeless, but someday, if I am, it will become a concern. It will become something I care about, the issues of homelessness and so forth. So that's just an example of what I mean there.
Hmm.
But I love what you were just talking about, brother Newborn. We really have to look at these things in this kind of way, and look at that as a form of self-assessment. Okay, self-assessment. And again, it still adds to growth, because I want people to understand. I want people to show that they understand that I am definitely not a evil person. I'm not someone who's trying to drag other folks down. I have a certain character that I stand. But even though I am being who I say I am, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to interpret it that way. And that
Ah.
interpretation is not mine. That's
Mhm.
theirs.
Yeah.
That's theirs. And
Because
so and it
everyone
all
get
depends
that.
on what filter they're looking at me through. We have
Mm.
these conditioned and emotional conditioned filters that we look at the world through. So it's just like if
Mhm.
you put a blue filter in front of you, then what's truly yellow will look green. It's going to be
Mm.
skewed. The view of everything will be skewed. So you're looking at everything through emotional filters. Sometimes you'll feel pain when there was no pain given, you know?
Mhm.
So we have to make sure that we clean ourselves up when it comes to that, before we past that opinion and the judgment and so forth on other people. But I just let people be where they are, but I'm always assured of where I am. And I do take people's criticism, and I might go, let me check that out. Let me examine myself to see if that's true. And then if it's not, I just go on about my business. And if it is, then I
Facts.
still go on about my business, but I correct it.
Facts. Facts.
Mm.
So
This is why I
that's what
always say
I want to think about that.
peace. Peace. That's
That's
peace.
been
That's
my
why I always
challenge.
say that. Yeah.
That's
I
been my
say,
challenge. Sabah Diami,
mm,
allowing myself to be corrected,
mm.
to
Do,
accept
do
that
you feel like you
criticism and
need
take
it to be?
that.
Hmm.
Yes. And
Okay.
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm. And so that's yep. Here it is, exemplifying what the honesty looks like. The
Yeah.
whole self evaluate, like you guys just did the process right there. Like we just boom,
Yeah.
free game,
Bars.
like
Hmm.
right there in real time, right?
Facts.
But
Bars.
that's important. That's important that we have those examples in public forums so that we see culturally, we see what it looks like. What are the examples of self evaluations? What are the correct ways to evaluate yourself, right? And the in the grand scheme of things, as we evolve, we start to realize that you know the feedback that we need to confirm who we are, we pushed it outwardly. And, what we're acknowledging here is that the feedback, we're selective about the feedback, right? And that is important. We're trying to discern if the feedback is accurate as it relates to aligning with who we say we are, right? And so we start to understand, dang, we pretty much need each other, right? And it emphasizes that it emphasizes your relationship with life, with the world, with the universe, with God, right? So yeah, we're going to cross over into the spiritual, right? You start to see yourself in people, and you say, dang, there's me right there, right? And then you say, dang, there's me right there. Dang, that's me right there. And you start to see your reflection in the reality. And if you don't like the reflection, then you start to ask questions. If you love the reflection, then you do more of that. You do more of that. That impression that you're making, art imitates life, so on and so forth. So, this is why it's important, people. This is why the mental health is important. This is why your spirituality is important. To accomplish these aims, you're here for a reason. You know your purpose. And if you don't, you're trying to figure it out, right? You're trying to figure it out. You're searching for it, even if it's blind, right? But you develop a certain relationship with your environment based off of your objectives. And your awareness of that really makes you a powerful being.
Oh,
But
hold
we
on.
also
Whoa,
understand.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait a minute. Did I miss something? Wait a minute. Did I miss something? Wait a minute.
Hold on. Whoa.
Drink you some water.
Whoa.
Drink you some water.
Whoa. Master John. Is anybody listening?
We're listening to him.
You're the one listening.
No.
Listen, I'm over here. I forgot my notebook in the car. I'm over here jotting down notes on a piece of paper. Stop. Come on.
John.
You listening.
I'm sorry, Master John Skywalker. That was heavy, bro. The last two sentences you just.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So, like I was saying, being aware of that makes you a powerful being.
See that right?
And you really start to get it. You start to get how it all works, even in its most simplistic way. Even in its most simplistic way. And so, boom, we got alignment here. We have self-awareness. We have knowing, understanding, so on and so forth. And so you're navigating your environment intently and consciously, impressing yourself into the world. And that relationship right there, it's like, if you're aware that you're doing this, like you're waking up. If you're aware of that, it's like, yo, I can change any of this. Like, I mean, it's simple. But because we do it so often, we don't pay. We really don't give it much value. It's just like, oh, it's supposed to be. No, it's not.
Man.
It's supposed to be.
I say.
Do you know what you're capable of? Like, and then
you earned the hat, honey.
This man, son.
Yeah, yes.
But again, what we're also saying in the larger scheme of things is we know that people don't know this about themselves, right? This is for those who've forgotten, because I believe we all knew at some point. We all knew, right?
Of course, we still, absolutely.
And then you believe the lie, right? You believe the lie. We all, it's just like the grand scheme. It's just like we all kind of know the lie is there, but we just ain't ready. We're just not ready. It's like, if you just be aware, if you just become aware of just that fact right there, and then the life is showing, it's like, man, come on, that's it. That's the great mystery. Anyway, go
say.
ahead, King Newborn.
Listen, man, I got to say this, and I'm if I get a little bit loud, it's only because I'm passionate. What my brother, man, to anybody that's tuning in to this right now, please listen to this. Please, if you got to go back and play this portion, especially when Master John Skywalker was just talking. I'm going to say this, and it's going to ruffle some feathers. We tend to say we are not perfect.
Speak on that.
But based off of what John just said, that will conclude that you are perfect.
Every time.
I'm talking about in its simplest form. That's why I didn't even mean to stop you because you was digging in, man.
He was going, and I'm sitting over here like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I say.
But what's so profound about what you said? At some point, we believe the lie, so therefore we stop trusting who we already are. You're already perfect.
Say that again, brother. One more time. Tell him again.
You are already perfect. You just started believing the lie. You stopped knowing who you already are. I've said this numerous of times, year in and year out. People are like, oh, I'm not perfect. You ain't perfect. You can't be perfect because if you was perfect, you judge, but you ain't supposed to judge. Listen, let's can we bring all of that to a rest right now, please? The whole purpose of even saying that you're judging is because the brain has to decipher, should I or should I not? That's the whole purpose of judgment. Now, in the midst of that, you might practice discernment. But like John said, the day you touched the fire and you burnt your finger, something went off in your cognitive to let you know that hurt. Right then and there, you just prove yourself to be all wise, all knowing, all everything. Right then and there. You just admitted to being a conscious being. There's nothing on this planet Earth higher than you being a conscious being.
And it goes back to what you always say, I am.
Hello? I was just going to say that.
I felt it.
Please don't like Brother Diamond said. This is where people be like, he is the devil, and he is this, and he is how. Because I understand something now about myself.
I say.
Like really
I
listen to what I'm saying. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead, beloved.
No, I just want to point out, and if you want to say that, well, Dion, I disagree with you. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you some examples, and let's see you disagree with this. When I say a painter, you automatically think of somebody with some paint brushes and probably two hands, correct?
Right.
Okay. Now, what if somebody told you that there was a painter with no arms and no hands?
I've seen it already.
So, are you trying to tell me that's not a perfect human being
who functions as he intends?
Hello, whoa! Now see, he finna. Hold on,
because I have a whole scenario on what you're talking about. I done a whole sermon on this before, so I'm listening to you, man. You on point.
You understand? You really understand what brother just said? He is acting in full capacity. A human being. no matter what you do in life, the cognitive, listen, cognitive, the frontal lobe, the moment that the right hemisphere does not connect with the left hemisphere, it reroutes to
Mm-hmm.
make it make sense. To make it make sense.
Mm.
Cut off one of your big toes and see how long does it take for the brain to reroute the distribution of your weight so you can walk.
Mm.
Huh?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Adaptation. Adaptation. Yep.
Huh?
Adapt.
Come on, man. You gotta stop playing with me, man.
That's what
Brother
we call
John.
in the fitness industry. We call it the SAID principle.
Mm.
SAID, SAID. You
Mm-hmm.
know, specific. What we call it? Let's see. Oh yeah, specific adaptation to impose demand. And
Mm.
that's an automatic rerouting, like you were just talking about, of anything. When we lose one point, then it reroutes to rebalance ourselves on the points that are left.
Mm.
So yeah,
Yes.
so
Your
physiologically,
heart
but you have to
does it.
understand, yeah, but you have to
Your brain
understand that
does it.
that's the life force working within you. That's an indwelling intelligence that makes that happen. Without that indwelling intelligence, you take that indwelling intelligence away, and all you got is a latent meat sack. Okay, it
Mm.
just doesn't do anything. It don't think for itself. It's an indwelling intelligence. You know, so absolutely, man, profound. So that is what makes us perfect. That is what makes us perfect. And so we in times we may be flawed in our actions, but even flaws, just
Mm,
like a car with a scratch, is still a car that can get you from point A to point B. So it's still a perfect
mm,
car. Doesn't matter how many
mm,
scratches it got on it.
mm,
You see,
laws,
so still perfect.
laws,
Hmm.
laws,
That's it.
laws.
So absolutely profound, brother. Profound.
Once again, I just said when y'all pour into me, I have no other choice but to reflect. You're part of
Mm.
my
Mhm.
environment just as well as I'm a part of yours.
That's
The
right.
only
Mm.
reason I'm on this panel because it's a direct reflection of who King Newborn is. This is
Mm.
this
Hmm.
is oh, okay. All right. Okay. It's cool.
uh, let me read some before we get off of here. I want to make sure that we have all these comments put out there.
Go right
Uh,
ahead.
so J Love responding back to when we were talking about caring. She said, "I care, but negativity won't stop me." Exactly, that's what we were talking about. And she said, but here females don't like me much, or attached for the wrong reasons. So I just say I don't care about all of that and keep it moving. So that's what I'm saying. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to say something different. That's not my concern right now. You know. So in other words, trying to avoid the distraction. So good,
Mm-hmm.
good. And
Okay.
trying to avoid the distraction.
J Love,
So
just
I like
turn
to,
your light up.
yeah, turn your
I was
light
just
up.
saying, J Love, yeah, just
Exactly.
turn your light up. That's all you gotta do.
That's it. So she says also, she says, it's never too late to change or figure out your purpose. That's true, and we have to realize that what purpose is. This is important. One of the things that I do for my students is all of them have gotten and what we call an incarnation objective reading from me. So this is the reason why you came into existence. So I do that with my I have a Tahuti Oracle deck that actually lets you know what your divine purpose is, the whole reason why you came into
Wow.
existence. Yeah, so that is important because one is, remember the three questions I said we must know. We must know, and this sends you on a path of self mastery, self discovery. Who am I? Why am I here? And what must I learn and master to realize my purpose for being here? Okay, so those are the three main questions that we must ask ourselves. So that purpose is extremely important. And she said, "You believe a lie from a person you never thought would lie to you,
Mm.
and you have to adapt." And did it light up? She just responded to you saying, "Did it light up?" All right, yes, it did. You're lit. So anyway, I just want to get those out of the way. And again, remember, King Newborn to show me how to get those comments coming from my feed over here as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not seeing it at all. I only see 3 from you,
I
me,
know.
and Dre. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
my
this is
page
So
didn't
okay,
go live.
Your page
yeah.
didn't go live?
No.
So okay, somewhere in here between the first one you actually did last time we ended the episode and the
Mhm.
Okay.
one that you just posted to today,
Yeah.
sometimes when we go to for ourselves individually, not you guys level, but when we go to log into Restream, when we get to
Hmm.
click it in there, it asks us, do we want to add our channels? Sometimes
Mhm.
if
Okay.
we go past that and go straight to the stream, some of our
Mm.
channels might not be linked. So it's important to
Hmm.
check in there first before you
Yeah.
actually link in, because you want to make
Okay.
sure your Facebook, Instagram, so forth and so forth are
Yeah.
all toggled to on.
Right. And
That's
that's what
important.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I do
yeah.
and for some reason it still doesn't like come up to where it's here. So got to figure that out. Anyway, it's all
Yeah,
good.
so up at the top, if you look up at the top of the restream, for everything that you are
Mhm.
logged into, it's going to show you. Next to the
Yeah.
button that says leave, it'll show you everything that you're
Mhm.
logged into on other social
Yeah.
media platforms.
Yeah. So it's just my Facebook. That's what it shows.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
if
Okay.
it's nothing else that you meant to log into, then that's where the issue lies for the most part.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. J Love did say, she said, Love Sean said, I am working, changing my thinking. So I changing who I listen to. Okay. Which
Mm.
is good.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's heavy right there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's a number. That's another form of detoxing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about subliminal messaging. We even remember yesterday in the class we were talking about images. Images is a form of subliminal messaging,
Mm.
and those how those images can actually dictate how we think and how we function. So even the people who we're listening to, you got to be careful who's hyping you up, okay, and how they're
Mm.
hyping you up. Got to be very
True
careful
that.
about that. Yeah. Yeah, what are they enabling in you? Are they hyping up? Are
Mm.
they supporting your,
Ooh.
your chaotic behavior and just saying, yeah, that's right. That's when I would have, nah. If they're doing that, then you're gonna keep getting what you was getting. You ain't getting
Mm.
nothing different, you know. So that's the thing. People who challenge you are challenge you to be better and to do better. That's
Yes,
who
yes,
that's who we should be. And it's hard. That's the hardest people to listen to, but that's who we
Mm.
should be listening to.
Dang. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Say that line one more time.
I knew she was going to say something.
You know, say that line one more time. I'm serious. The people we should be listening to.
Yeah, so the people who challenge you to be better and do better are the people you should be listening to,
My
right?
brother.
So, mm,
They're the hardest
hmm
to listen to.
And
Yeah.
there and
yeah.
has been truly the hardest to listen to.
Hey,
Mm.
they shake you up. Did you hear how
And I
when King Newborn just shook his cup? You hear that?
had
That's what it
yeah.
sounds like when they shake you up.
Don't be surprised. John do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, John does it
Oh, no
too.
doubt.
Yeah, yeah. When he do it, I have to go in the corner somewhere and close the door and
Oh
just I
man.
be like, damn. His sometimes your delivery, man. I be like, did he just let me
I
just
know.
give him a
I
minute.
seen him do it. I seen him like, what? Wait,
Yes.
whoa,
Ooh, baby. Yes.
whoa, Tiger, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
You know.
I'm gonna tell you when it's real. When John put an emphasis on the letter G when he say God level, he's like, wait a minute now. I'll be like, oh, something just happened and it just got real.
Right.
I say,
Yeah,
I
but hey,
say,
sis, I ain't gonna let you hang out there by yourself. John got me good on the phone. He don't even know it.
Oh
Say it
yeah.
again.
Yeah, yeah. John got me good on the phone. And he didn't even know it. He did it inadvertently. We
He's
were
really
talking
good at
about,
that.
yeah, for real though. We were but this see once again, here's the thing. John was reflect on him. By doing so, it kind of up in this region right here. I said, damn, that was
Yeah.
deep. You don't even know he just slapped the shit out of me there, you know.
And didn't even realize it.
He
Mhm.
didn't even realize it. And John, let me tell you, I was not too far from Virginia Beach. I was in the truck talking to you on the phone, and I told you I couldn't find the actual place I was trying to make a delivery. We were both talking about our sons. Remember that day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You went hard that day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh wow.
Sometimes you don't know you're doing it, but you're doing it.
Woo.
Well,
Wow.
see, John was scaling himself. He was scaling himself on being a parent. And the things he was saying, I was like, yeah, that's okay. What was the last one? Oh, okay, I changed this one. Yeah,
Oh man.
But you know the conversation I'm talking about, right, John?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to call my son right after I got off the phone with John.
Mm.
You speaking of son, I'm gonna be a little transparent right now.
Uh-oh. We cut my mic off. No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Nah, he said he's gonna cut his mic off. What that mean? You know what? Let's just go backstage. John, what you got for us this evening, honey?
Oh wow. Spiritual wealth got me in a different tax bracket.
Mm.
Luxurious habits. I move like electromagnets, no static, low traction, nonstop as I still get it, light, slow traffic. John Stewart, I am him. Green Lantern, I'm that lit, matchless, as if there was a Tinder app for rapping. I need a duplicate profile to match with. I'm charismatic. So I don't force attraction. If it's whack, I divorce the action before it happens. I imagine bliss, then prey on it. Not in a predatory way, but I'm not passive. I'm patient, putting a leash on my passions. Otherwise, become Thanos and start snapping, making the opposition vanish. It's simply mathematics, quantum mechanics, magic that's so graphic the skeptics get astonished. They lean back like italics. I dream gigantic. Just to catch it requires the hands of Galactus. Staying humble because there's no wisdom in bragging. A peaceful mind is my kind of designer fashion. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, you got nice swag, but some things look better without a price tag. Trying to hide your stress with the dress code, you bogus. Faking your wokeness like hypnosis, boasting how you're cut from expensive cloth. But what it mean though? I'm cut from the fabric of space. That doesn't seem so logical. It's not meant to be. It's phenomenal. See, you spit game, I spit education. You switch lanes, I switch elevations at the speed of thought. So my conversations is deeper than all of your conversations combined. And yeah, your money talks, but what it do? You got bad karma, better pay your dues. You sacrifice, I economize. Sometimes if you want justice, you gotta compromise. Oftentimes, I'll settle. That's how you colonize. Better than being you trying to monopolize, always in competition, hungry to be the boss, but people don't respect the boss, they respect the position. You see, leadership ain't really about accomplishments. Every recognition I get is just a compliment, but for you, it's a necessity. I mean, dang, you even feed off the jealousy. Pathetic. To get attention, you go out on a limb like prosthetics because you keep it 300 like your credit score. Your insecurities got you indebted, disconnected from friends and family, and it hurts to see you think payback is a bitch. Wrong currency. Mm-mm. Affluent with remorse, so More soul you become. You need more soul. That's not a mouthful. That's a more soul that'll leave you speechless like Morse code. See, excellence ain't a standard. It's a lifestyle. So when you're me, compassion don't cost a thing. A good heart is a long-term investment. This is my reminder to y'all. Stay vested.
This is God level. We will see y'all back here next week.